Today on Food with Viktor, I'm gonna be cooking a dish that dates back to the 1600s, gravlax. The name gravlax actually comes from how you cooked this dish back in the days. Grav means grave in Swedish, so that's what you did. You dug a grave and actually buried the salmon underground for several hours. But nowadays you use your fridge, so that's what I'm gonna do as well. And I'm using here a fresh Norwegian salmon with the skin on. And I know that some fishes needed to be freezed before cooking it, so ask your local shop if you need to do that. And when it comes to gravlax, it's really few ingredients. You need sugar, you need salt, you need white pepper, and some herbs. That's it. And when it comes to the dill, don't use any dried ones, use fresh dill. And when it comes to the lemon, I'm gonna use the zest of the lemon here. This is because it's Easter here, and I like to have a little bit more freshness to the cured gravlax. But as I said, the lemon is optional, so you can leave that out if you want to go with the original recipe. And before I start curing it, we need to feel for some bones. And my local fish shops already picked out all the bones for me, so I'm kinda lucky. But feel with your fingers, you can find some hard pieces, and I will show later how to pick them out. Since the side is thick on one part and thin on the other part, I will cut a piece away to make sure I'll have an even curing. And as always, don't throw away food. Save this in the freezer for later to make a stock or a fish soup. I actually found 2 bones here, so get your pliers ready to pull the bones out. Now it's time for the gravlax spice mix. You need a mortar and pestle here, and quite a lot of whole white pepper seeds. And we will be adjusting the amount a little bit later also. And the salt. The salt and the sugar really helps to cure the salmon all together. So I'm using 1 deciliter of salt here. And around 1.5 deciliter of sugar. And this is for a piece of fish that's around 1 kilo. And what I'm looking for here is the amount of white pepper, and for this I feel we need to add a little bit more. And here is more preferable white pepper to the other spices ratio I'm looking for. And you want roughly 1 deciliter of gravlax spice mixture for 1 kilo of fish. And here I'm using 1 deciliter. And really make sure to rub it in on all the sides. And now it's time for the fresh herbs. And use fresh dill. I can't stretch this enough. And use the back side of your knife to smash the dill roots to help all the flavor escape. And when it comes to the lemon, the original version, it's not with lemon, but in the Easter I like it to have a little more freshness to the salmon, and that's why I add the lemon zest here. And here we go, the salmon is ready with all the herbs and spices that it needs. Now it needs to be sitting in room temperature for 1 hour for the salt and the sugar to sink in. Now it's time to pack up the salmon and put it in the fridge. Here I'm using a vacuum bag, but you don't need to use that if you don't have one. You can use a regular bag, works fine as well. A good tip here, if you're not using a vacuum bag, is put something heavy on top so you really get contact with the herbs and the salmon skin. And here we have it, a beautiful salmon. You can cure this for only 5 to 6 hours, but the consistency and flavor I'm looking for, then you need to wait 24 hours. And yeah, throw it in the fridge. One thing it's good to do here is flip it, maybe 1 or 2 times during its curing. Here we go, 24 hours later, we have our beautiful gravlax ready to be cut up. Before we cut it up, we need to remove all the excess salt and sugars and the herbs. And just use your hands here, don't rinse everything off. We still want to have a touch of the herbs, salt and sugars left. We can really see here the color and the firmness have really changed during the curing time. And when it comes to cutting up the fish, it's preferable to use your fish knife here. I don't have one, so I'm cutting it straight down, and when it comes to the bottom, I'm twisting the knife a little bit to the side to leave the extra fatty part. And as you might have guessed, you're going for extra thin slices here. And here we have it, the beautiful gravlax infused with dill and lemon. As you might have guessed, time for the taste test. And it's really common here to eat the gravlax here with a mustard vinaigrette. And of course, it's beautiful. You can feel the lemon, you can feel the dill, and of course the beautiful salmon flavor. And if you like this recipe and want to see more Swedish recipes, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.